So we're looking at the place of the birth of Jesus, and I'm reading out of Luke chapter 2, verses 1 through 7. In those days, a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that the whole world should be enrolled. This was the first enrollment when Quirinius was governor of Syria. So all went to be enrolled, each to his own town. And Joseph too went up from Galilee, from the town of Nazareth to Judea, to the city of David that is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house of the family of David, to be enrolled with Mary, his betrothed, who was with child. While they were there, the time came for her to have her child, and she gave birth to her firstborn son. She wrapped him in swaddling clothes and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn.
Okay, so this is the birth of Jesus now, so the church in the Nativity, right?
Right. That would be in Bethlehem.
Okay.
And I know Father Kevin asked myself and Dave Flora, who was with us from Winneconne, if we wanted to go to Mass at 6 o'clock in the morning. And we were in Jerusalem, so we had to take a cab to get to Mass at 6 o'clock in the morning. I think we left maybe 4:30 in the morning and got a cab ride there. It was about maybe a half hour to get there. And then when we got to the church, we went in through the door of humility, and I know we have a picture of that. And it's a door we have to bend way down to get into the church.
Maybe I didn't get that. Oh, right there?
It is, yep.
Yeah.
So that's the door of humility. And you can go through a regular door too.
Okay.
But when you go in, it's just such a reminder, again, of the humility of Jesus.
Okay.
And you go through the narrow door and you walk into the church, and then off to the side of the church is a narrow staircase that goes down.
So that's inside it?
Yeah, to this room where the Mass was.
Oh, okay.
And it was kind of cool because I remember a group of people, Father Kevin and I and Dave were down there alone, and all of a sudden this whole group of people come in, and they were from Poland. So a priest came in and did Mass in Polish, which was very, very cool. So this is the altar that he did the Mass at, and that's I think there's a better shot there. There, perfect.
Yeah.
That's the place where Jesus was born.
Okay.
And it's a place that you can kneel down and venerate. You can see the star in the middle with the candles around it. You can kiss that place, pray over it.
So what is the meaning of some of the star that they have there? So is that for the
Star
Star of
David.
Bethlehem? Okay.
Yep. And the candles are just,
Light.
Yeah. And again, it's a very small room.
Okay.
And just to kneel down and touch that spot was very, very powerful. And then, of course, to have Mass there and to be able to receive the Eucharist. Behind the altar, they also had a spot marked where the manger was.
Okay.
And they also had a spot that we could go to where we could go out and see where the shepherds were.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask about that, the shepherd's field and
they had a church there also.
Okay. And do they have anything about the Magi or the three wise men, or?
They did not that we saw.
Okay.
No.
So in the shepherd's field, is that? Imagine it's just like a residential, or was it just like
No, it's preserved.
You could see the field.
You could see the
kind
field.
of sense shepherds being there.
Yep. And the it was open. Okay. And it's just the one thing that I had a little bit of regret on, we went to all these beautiful places, and it would have been nice they gave us some time to walk around and pray, but it would have been great if we would have had a little more time. Because it would have been great just to sit for maybe a half hour in this field and say, okay, can you just imagine what happened here and how those shepherds must have been just blown away, seeing all the angels, and then going right away down to the birthplace.
Joseph and Mary and Jesus were.
Yeah,
that just had to be amazing to get the sense of that location and that happening. And then I was just reading about the actual site that where the Chapel of the Nativity is that the same place? And I don't know if this is true or not, but where Ruth and Naomi and Rachel, were they in Book of Kings that they said that she came to Bethlehem, and I was just thought it was interesting to make that connection.
That
there
connection, yeah. I don't
like,
remember
okay,
the guy talking about that, because that would be something that would be very, very powerful.
Yeah, that's what amazed me, is like how you don't realize how many different connections between the Old Testament and the New Testament are in the Holy Land. Like you can kind of get a sense of how that it all fits together. Like there weren't that. You always think of the Old Testament happening like in a faraway place, and it's all happening in the same place.
Right.
That's what's amazing.
But I just remember the place being very, very peaceful.
Yeah.
And I know it was early in the morning. There weren't even people there, but when the people came, even during Mass, it was just such a reverence that people had.
Yeah.
For that, realizing the importance of that site.
Sure, because it was at the city of David, because that's Bethlehem too, right? That they called it the city of David. A child is born. Yeah. So that's kind of cool. I don't know. They had someone took a picture of the mosaics on the floor, and I didn't know if that had some significance. Like just seeing all the different between the different, either the Crusaders or the Byzantines or they're all had their own kind of establishment.
They did.
And the architectural, they tried to keep that, right?
Yeah, that's how a lot of times the guide would tell us the history based on what we saw.
Yeah.
The mosaics and paintings and structures.
Yeah,
that's when we went that morning.
Oh, that's the early in the morning.
The outside shot of the church.
You're coming to.
Yeah. And we did go back as a group to that location, because it was just Father, Dave, and I went to the morning Mass, and it was just packed. I think it took the place where Jesus was born, I think from the time we got to the church into where that actual location was, probably took a good 45 minutes. And there were, just a lot of people. And what I loved about it is when you got down there, they didn't really rush you.
Yeah.
If you wanted to take some time, take some pictures, say some prayers.
Yeah.
They did that.
It's still probably hard, though, because you kind of feel that pressure to keep moving.
A little bit. So and that was Father Kevin's idea to go to morning Mass.
Morning Mass, that was perfect. Yeah. Good idea.
Great idea.
Okay. That's kind of a neat picture of, is that Mary and Joseph and Jesus?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, and that picture was in the church.
Okay.
Yeah. Great. I mean, the artwork is.
I know, that's what amazes me.
Yeah.
And how they have that kind of like a wicker and then fabric that goes over it. It's kind of interesting. Yeah. Kind of in Mary-esque colors.
Right.